The Beastie Boys' Adam Yauch gathered them to New York for the second Free Tibet show, an appeal for worldwide support.
Adam is one of the founders of the Milarepa Fund. He's also on the board of directors, so he is pretty integral to everything that we do.
But little do you know, that's something that I talk about.
I guess the point of the concert is really to put forward the Tibet issue and to raise awareness about the Tibet issue. The reason that we've chosen to focus on that issue specifically is because it embodies all these principles of nonviolence, and the whole Tibet struggle for freedom is based on nonviolence.
Let's not forget that the reason that this concert is going on is to help the people of Tibet get their freedom. So after this is over, if everybody could make an effort to do whatever they can to make sure that that happens, that would be well appreciated.
SonicNet's Free Tibet website even offers an incentive for people who find the effort of participation too tiring.
But it also allows people to instantaneously become activists. You know, they have a letter right there to President Clinton, and on the spur of the moment they can just, you know, type in their name, hit a button, and it's off.
When it comes to freedom in the rest of the world, we basically ignore it. Our corporations are trading with China, basically just taking advantage of the situation over there rather than actually helping to promote change.
Music. Life.
Oh, yes, indeed, it's fun time.
And Buddhism. I was reading one of your Rolling Stones interviews, and it said when you guys were coming up in high school, you took the aptitude test.
I took this aptitude test, and they were like, well, what are you doing? Don't play music. And I think I was like, just avoided it for a while, and then some fun. Actually, John Barry, the old guitar player from Beastie Boys, me and him, I was at his house one time, and we were jamming, and I don't know, he just said some positive things.
So what would you tell, like, teens coming up who want to get into the music business?
Don't listen to those aptitude tests.
I know you guys started in New York, and now you're based in LA. What do you think about, like, the West Coast, East Coast controversy?
I think people make too much out of it, really. There's people doing creative stuff on both ends. To me, what's interesting is actually listening to a lot of different styles of music and just seeing where different people are coming from.
I know you started a fund for the Tibetan people, the Milarepa.
Well, the way it started was that we had sampled some Buddhist monks. We were trying to figure out what to do with that publishing money for that sample, and so we wanted to try to figure out how to give that money back to the cultures. So we ended up actually taking pretty much like all the money from that song, all the publishing from Bodhisattva Vow and also Shambhala, and putting it towards, we ended up setting up a fund. And right now the fund is mostly focused on raising awareness about Tibet.
What was the reaction on Lollapalooza when the monks performed? It must have been a stark contrast.
Most people were open to it. A lot of times monks give off just such a positive vibe anyway, like my man Pama here. And a lot of times just like even the other artists who are on the tour who were just being around the monks all the time were just so amazed at how warm and positive these guys are. And when you see these people who are like adults who are choosing not to have any material possessions and have decided not to have sex in their lifetime, and they're the happiest people that you ever met.
So Pema, can you tell us more about what's happening in Tibet?
They're torturing if there's some Tibetans who raise their wives towards the freedom of Tibet and also the human rights in Tibet. So they kill them and they prison them. There's many of them in Tibet right now. They're torturing too many, even the young kids.
Yeah.
And they have no freedom.
So what can we do to support, you know, the cause, I guess, as young people?
I think what we don't realize is how much we really affect world politics. And when you buy a pair of pants, we need to really think about what that company represents and where that was made and who made it. You know, we may be buying a pair of pants that was made by a 7-year-old child in a labor prison camp.
So how can, like, young people get involved? Like, not so much in Buddhism, but just into, like, practicing nonviolence.
A person can just even experiment around with those basic principles, just the basic principle that that anger or hatred breeds more anger and hatred. If somebody comes towards you and they're angry, if you give them positivity back and you're open and you're loving towards that person, it's gonna help them get out of that. It's just a matter of being sure enough of yourself that when that person throws that anger at you, it doesn't faze you.
I'd like to thank Pema, Adam, MCA, Eddie V. See you later.
When we actually go out and buy something, we're actually making a vote. That dollar that we're putting down is making a vote for or against human rights, because a lot of the products that we buy are made in insane labor conditions, in slave labor and child labor and prison labor, and many of these prisoners are just political prisoners who have done nothing more than exercise their basic human rights.
That was Adam Yauch of the Beastie Boys at a recent rally to free Tibet. It is a cause that is very, very close to his heart.